Well, it looks like the bloodbath will be worse than we thought over at the CW. We've already had cancellations on Stargirl. Superman and Lois is questioned at this point. But it looks like I think this NEXSTAR is going to wipe the entire network clean and start from scratch. And we have the article that discusss this. But before we start, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Thank you for those tuning in. We do appreciate that. We're getting at 600. We're happy that we're there, and we're pushing to that 700 on our way to get up to that top of the mountain of 1,000. We really do appreciate that. And we do appreciate all of our other social media platforms, BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble. So we've discussed in previous videos the CW, the rise, the fall, the rise, the fall. And you know, we've said this before, and I'll say this again. The reason the CW fell is because of its programming, of its woke programming, to be specific, of the way they designed shows like Tom Swift, the 4400, what they did to Supernatural, what they did to Flash, Arrow, and the rest of the DC universe, what they've done to other TV series, reboots, made for the modern era. And we were afraid of that. They were going to do that to Babylon 5. Right now, that is in the air. J. Michael Straczynski has been discussing trying to get the fans to talk to NEXSTAR and tell them that it needs to be done. I'll tell you honestly, no, it doesn't need to be rebooted. You have a great show. You don't need to remake it to the modern era. You know, your last series, Sense8, not really people liked it. You took a science fiction show and you turned it into a sex romp with dildos, you know? It was ridiculous. And there was an article out in TV Insider, but we're only going to take a segment of it. And this is the important part. Most of the other stuff we've discussed, we've talked about it, that basically, you know, NEXSTAR is running 75% of this company. Paramount, CBS, and Warner has a small amount. But what is looking like a redesign to the network is literally removing a lot of its shows. Now, there's terminology in here you're going to hear. For example, they said, well, what they call freshman series orders have been canceled. And what is meant by that is that it's not only the show is not really canceled yet, but it's probably might be. But a network orders half of the series. In other words, 13 episodes or 6 episodes, depending on what show it is and what network. They will decide whether or not they're going to get another half, if they want to go forward, put the money into it, even though it has been produced into it. They still have to buy it. Or cancel the whole show outright. And that's what we've seen with some of the freshman shows at the CW, that they haven't gotten their second half episodes order, nor has a second season been ordered as well. Doesn't mean they won't make them. They can go. These shows can go to another network, and we've seen that in the past. And we're going to read that section that's very important in here. It's toward the end of the article. It's previously reported, since NEXSTAR acquired 75% of the ownership of the CW, that freshman series Walker Independence and the Winchesters will not be receiving additional episode orders for their first seasons. Both will have 13 episodes total. Both are spin-offs established CW hits Walker and Supernatural. And after the 2023 season, it sounds likely that most of those shows haven't had their final seasons announced. Those 5 returning this year: Walker, Superman, Lois, All-American, Homecoming, and Kung Fu. and one new mid-seasons one, Gotham Knights, won't be back. Gotham Knights hasn't even aired, pretty much, and it's already pretty much in cancellation mode. Riverdale and the Flash's final seasons were both announced before NEXSTAR's acquisition. They both are a part of mid-season lineup since the acquisition. Final seasons for Nancy Drew's forthcoming in 2023 as well, and Stargirl is ending in December were also announced. According to Sook, that's basically NEXSTAR CEO Perry Sook, who's taken over the network. They're aiming for a broader audience, which is both scripted and unscripted programming on the unscripted side. And on the unscripted side, Whose Line Is It Anyway will report be ending after its 12th season. Original star Colin Mockery tweeted on November 4th. In January, we shoot our final season. That's a shame. That's a shame that Whose Line Is It Anyway is going away after 12 seasons. Whose Line has been around for a long time. And not only in the good old US of A. This was a show that was brought over from Europe, over at the UK, including Colin Mockery and some of the cast were originally in the UK version, which is, I think it's available on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. You're able to see the old episodes on there, and they're just as funny, the old episodes. You know, I mean, you could see the talent in the early days of people like Colin Mockery, you know, who started out this way, to see the kind of comedic talent that they all have. And it was fun. And there's some other comedians that were on the show that are well known throughout the world that were on that series as well. One thing they didn't mention was the Penn and Teller series, which probably might stay around. We don't know, but and there's a couple other. We know that the game shows are gone. They're all going to be gone on there. Whatever game shows that they had, that Hidden Temple one, which was awful, that was canceled already. And you have to understand, most of the people that have been watching this network, most of the people watching are in their 50s. And I'm not talking that they're prime time. The CW runs 24 hours a day. They run programming 24 hours a day. That's why the unscripted side is coming in. They see that unscripted does very well on their network, because that's where most of their viewers are. They're in their 50s. Now, they want to get back the 18 to 49 demographic. They're going to have to go back and retool everything, get shows that cost less. In other words, they're going to spend less for shows. They're going to spend half of what they did before, about $1 million on there per episode. They're going to have to create unscripted shows that will be popular across the board. They're going to push into sports, obviously, because that's right now, that's also a big bank on a lot of the independent stations, is the sports stuff. You know, because right now, you know, all the licensing, you know, there's a lot of money into the licensing. I mean, Tubi TV got the World Cup this year on there to get the streaming rights to that, which is a great thing on there. If you haven't gone over to Tubi, there is a channel, live channel dedicated on there. You can see the, you know, because it's on the other side of the world. It's in Qatar. So basically, that's about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Would be the main games would be played at. You know, most people ain't going to get up that early to watch that. Only the hardcore fans would do that. But see, the thing is that the CW now is on its way to rebuild, and we'll have to sit and wait and see what will happen. But like I said, most of these shows are garbage. Even the newer stuff is garbage. Kung Fu, they totally didn't get the jets of Kung Fu. They did not totally get it. And, you know, they swapped characters from a male to a female, unknown to, you know, Qui-Gon Kane, you know, the reasoning for what he was doing, and they just changed everything. I mean, even in the reboot that they did with Qui-Gon Kane, well, actually, it'll be the grandson of Qui-Gon Kane in there. Carradine would return to reprise the role. You made it more toward the modern times, but you kept the philosophy, the mysticism, of the Shaolin monks. And that's the important part, is how you treat people. Here, you're just thrown into an action on there, which is okay to have the action, but the characters driven is different in the original series. If you haven't seen the original Kung Fu series, the second series is not that great. It's okay. It has some of the elements that from the original, but the original itself with David Carradine is fantastic. It's so good. Do catch that. So we'll see what happens next with the CW. We'll keep an eye on that. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.